The best rivalry in college basketball, Duke and Carolina, a part of ESPN's Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's. This is the best rivalry in college basketball.
Carolina's got tar on its heels and a chip on its shoulder.
They're the veterans getting it done.
You can't spell Duke without K.
Bagley driving, and it goes.
This young Duke team is the most talented in the country.
Keep your enemies closer. How about 10 miles? The Dean Dome is turnt for Duke and Carolina. Let's go.
This is a Sonic blockbuster on ESPN. Is it ever? It is packed here at the Dean Dome for the first of two regular season matchups between the Duke Blue Devils and the North Carolina Tar Heels. Most would feel it's the greatest rivalry in college basketball, and we're not going to argue. They're announcing the Tar Heels. We're in the dark. Some would say someone else is new, but we move on. Duke and Carolina, you played in this rivalry. Now, you and I both lucky enough to be here courtside. What does this game mean?
It's the best rivalry, in my judgment, in all of American sport. These teams have played their last 100 games. They are 50-50 out of the 15,000 points scored in those 100 games. They're separated by a single bucket. 2 points. It's not even a three. 2 points. These two coaches have won, 8 national championships between them, both Hall of Famers. 36 Final Fours among these two teams, 11 national championships. It's ridiculous how good this is.
All right, let's break it down a little bit. Duke and Carolina tonight. Let's start in the front court. Two of the best big men in the country.
Well, you've got Marvin Bagley III, the outstanding freshman from Duke, leading the ACC in scoring and rebounding. Nobody is quicker off the floor, not just the first time, but the second and the third. He can take you outside. He is great going to his left, incredibly productive. And then Luke May is having an outstanding year, averaging over 18 points. 10.5 rebounds. He shoots 49% from three. Can pull those Duke big guys, Bagley and Wendell Carter, away from the basket and knock down some threes. He's having an extraordinary season.
All right, now the backcourt. Each program has a terrific senior guard they rely heavily on.
Well, both are terrific players. Both have played in the national championship game and have won national championships. And for North Carolina, Joel Berry is not just a winner. He is an absolute champion. The most outstanding player in last year's NCAA tournament. Has not shot the ball as well as he's capable of shooting it. But I think you're going to see him with a lot of high ball screens in this one. How he plays off those is going to be really important. And Grayson Allen has been an important leader for this team at 37 points early in the season against Michigan State. He is capable, has not shot the ball well of late, only 1 of 5 against St. John's, and has really been struggling in ACC play, only 26%. He has to have a good game.
On the assumption that she can hear us, let's go cross court now to Maria Taylor.
Sound like a whisper, Dan, but I'll tell you what, Grayson Allen, the senior, he is used to playing in this atmosphere. He's used to playing in the Dean Dome, but it's his last trip here, and he said he didn't recognize that until a friend brought that up earlier this week. Now, Grayson says that he recognizes right now he's in an offensive slump, but his focus is being a facilitator, and that's taken away from maybe his offensive scoring output. He's focused on ball control, feeding the hot hand, and a lot of times he doesn't shoot for 7 or 8 minutes, but he says he's not going to let that affect him today and his last trip to the Dean Dome.
I don't know how you can't get a little bit fired up with this kind of an environment, whether it's here in Chapel Hill or 10 miles away in Durham, where they'll meet in 4 weeks' time. We are ready for the tip of this Sonic blockbuster. Number 9 Duke, number 21 North Carolina, here in Chapel Hill. And it'll be the two big guys, May and Bagley, on the tip. Ron Groover, Jamie Luckey, Jeff Clark, the officials. And here comes the 246th installment of Duke and Carolina. We promise you. There we go. The same starting 5 for the Blue Devils as Mike Krzyzewski's had all season. 4 freshmen and Grayson Allen.
And right now, Theo Pinson is guarding Marvin Bagley III. That is an advantage size-wise, obviously, for North Carolina.
Bagley averaging better than 20 points, 10 rebounds per game. Pinson a good defender, but giving up a ton of size. Floater by Trevon Duval, not there. Offensive rebound, Bagley can't finish. Now Carter has the loose ball. And it will be Duke ball as a Carolina player touched the ball while standing out of bounds. For North Carolina, they are smaller, they are older. They really play 4 perimeter players, and even May can step out and shoot the 3 extremely well.
Well, they start a smaller lineup. They can still go big with their 2 freshmen big guys, Garrison Brooks and Sterling Manley. And those 2 have to have a really good game for North Carolina to win.
Duval shut down by Kenny Williams, looking for help. Duval the 3. And the rebound down to Pinson, who is a terrific rebounder for a guard. Driving left hand, too strong, Cameron Johnson. The grad transfer from Pitt with the first bucket of the night.
North Carolina not as big, but still an excellent rebounding team because all 5 guys rebound.
Boy, how about that split by Duval, and then he finds Bagley.
Well, Trevon Duval is leading the ACC in assists, just a freshman. But defensively is going to be the challenge in this one, going against Joel Berry.
Deep one for Johnson. A little bit too strong, and Gary Trent Jr. down with the rebound. Keep an eye on Trent tonight. He has been shooting the ball at an incredible clip in recent games.
Well, last 2 games, Gary Trent Jr. averaging 22 per game, 11 of 17 from 3-point range in those 2 games.
Duval the drive, turns it over. Carolina will look to run at every opportunity. Williams. Boy, the Tar Heels, who are shooting the 3 more often and with more success this year, they've had a couple of good looks early and haven't knocked him down. Grayson Allen getting booed on every touch, knocks down the floater.
Well, that's something he needed, was to get started early. He has not been aggressive offensively, or at least as aggressive as he needs to be. Can't go a game only having 5 field goal attempts.
And not a great look there from Joel Berry II. A deep 3 off of 1 pass, missed it wide right. Duval absorbing some contact and finishes.
Well, he absorbed the contact. That was a bad shot by Joel Berry. He doesn't usually take those. It was not a shot that could be rebounded. And oftentimes you take a bad one, and that is the first pass in your opponent's fast break. North Carolina couldn't get their defense set, and Trevon Duval takes advantage of it. Strong, keeps his eyes on the rim, and never took them off.
And a 3-point play for Duval, who will now go to the bench. An early sub for Mike Krzyzewski. And Jack White comes into the game. White really has played sparingly this year, except last week gave Duke some big minutes against Notre Dame, and he's into this game early tonight.
At 7 points, 5 rebounds against Notre Dame, and 7 points more than he had scored all season long.
Mike Krzyzewski was asked about his bench before the game, and he told us he subs by feel. He's got a lot of different guys on the bench. None of them play a ton of minutes, but he opts to get White into the game early. Kenny Williams with a 3, 39% from beyond the arc on the season.
Well, it was open because of the great ball movement and the extra pass by North Carolina. Boy, Theo Pinson really battling Marvin Bagley to get around in front.
Allen misses the 3. Bagley down with another offensive rebound. And Allen knocks down his second try.
Nobody does that better than Duke. Offensive rebound, yet another one for Marvin Bagley III. They immediately look for an open 3-point shooter, and Allen was moving in order to find that opening.
Luke May, who's having a sensational season, averaging better than 18 points, 10 rebounds per game, misses the mid-range jumper. Now they go inside to Wendell Carter. Lots of space. But May plays some great defense, and Carter has to give it up.
Really nice job walling up. Carter would have been better off just with a turnaround jumper to the baseline side.
Shot clock a factor.
Got the switch. Joel Berry on Bagley.
Williams blocks it out of bounds with 2 on the shot clock.
Really, North Carolina's first shot defense has been excellent. North Carolina just has to get those defensive rebounds to finish the possession.
Allen gets the shot off, hits the rim with a rebound down to Johnson, and here come the Heels. Johnson for three. Got it! Carolina's second three of the night. They're back within two.
Duke going with a double stack low, and so far Gary Trent Jr. has not touched the ball.
Johnson on Bagley on this trip. Trent, high arcing jumper, no. And it'll be Duke basketball when we come back. A good start here in this one in Chapel Hill.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's Hamburgers, made with fresh, never frozen beef. And Overton's, America's marine and water sports superstore.
Let's take a look at tonight's Sonic Blockbuster. This, of course, just a tremendous rivalry. If you go back to 1980-81, Mike Krzyzewski's first year, Duke leads the series 45-42. How about this one? It's the 146th consecutive game between the two when at least one of them has been ranked, and the two programs have combined to play in 25 of the last 37 Final Fours. They've won 10 national championships in that span, and you can't have a Duke-Carolina game without some great former players being in the house and here in Chapel Hill tonight. Among those is Antawn Jamison. What a star he was here.
And in 1998, Antawn Jamison led the ACC in both scoring and rebounding, one of the handful of times that it's been done. And Marvin Bagley III, as a freshman, has an opportunity to do it again this year.
Javon Duval back into the game and now for Duke. In for Carolina, Garrison Brooks, the freshman from Lafayette, Alabama. He has Carter.
And now the matchups are a little more size on size. Good job by Brooks to angle that to the baseline.
Duval, a little bit short. Yet another offensive rebound for Duke. They've got 6 already on the night, and Carolina, in that respect, fortunate to be down only 2.
Got the switch with Carter on Barry. He ought to drive him here.
And he will, and he'll draw the foul on Wendell Carter.
That's just a smart play by Joel Berry II. He has had just a fantastic career. When you think of what he's accomplished in his 4 years here, there have been very few players that have played in this league as decorated in so many different ways as Joel Berry.
Most outstanding player of the Final Four last year. He's a Cousy Award finalist right now. One of the 10 point guards on that list for the top point guard in the country. Luke May's gone to the bench now as Pinson returns for Carolina, and Duke goes into the 2-3 zone, a defense that Mike Krzyzewski's been employing a lot more often this year than in years past.
Well, did it out of the side out of bounds, and at least when he plays that zone, everybody's at home defensively.
Wow! Trevon Duval with a thunderous dunk.
That was big time. Boy, what a statement in your first Duke North Carolina game.
Open three, second of the night for Kenny Williams.
And whether it's man or zone, you have to communicate on shooters. And Kenny Williams has not been shooting the ball great in his last 5 games, but busted out a little bit with 15 against Pitt.
Grayson Allen with the answer at the other end.
Well, you have to stay with Grayson Allen. He's got that look that he is hunting his shot and seeing a big basket right now.
You know, it's funny, Jay, they've got 4 freshmen and a senior starting. But is it the senior in Allen who might be the X factor for Duke in terms of whether they're a very good team or a team that can win a championship?
I don't think there's any question about that. And right here, a really good job to read the defense by Grayson Allen and pop to the open area. And his footwork is so good. He is ready to fire that thing as soon as the ball arrives.
Marquise Bolden into the game now for Duke. Mike Krzyzewski said before the game, Bolden just back off an injury a couple of games ago. They want to get him more involved. Right now, though, Duke's got to figure out a way to get a hand in the face of Kenny Williams. His 3rd free of the game.
Kenny Williams shooting 39% from 3, but he is capable of much better.
Trent with a terrific driving layup.
Right now, Carolina giving up way too much off the first pass.
Berry at the other end. Up and down we go here at the Dean Dome.
Well, you think transition defense is not important in this one? Even after a score, North Carolina's pushing it right up your back.
Allen couldn't get the shot off. Now Duval. Bagley. Running hook into the lane. How nice was that?
Well, can't let him get to his left hand. He is such an unorthodox player, but just so good.
Williams had been in a shooting slump until their last game against Pitt. He's officially out of it right now. Duval has it taken away. Carolina running. And May gives them the lead.
North Carolina is fully engaged now on the defensive end.
Good defense by Williams, staying with Allen.
Boy, the intensity in this building right now, it's amazing.
It really is. Everybody's standing. Bagley's been calling for the ball, got Pinson on him. They can't get it to him. Trent will drive into traffic and finish.
Now, Theo Pinson tried to take the charge. He should have just challenged that shot. Duke going to stick with his own.
Johnson from the free throw line. Offensive rebound, May. And the length of Bagley bothered him on that attempt.
Yeah, might as well have just taken it out. Tried to get Bagley off the floor. And Bagley did a nice job of leaving the floor second to challenge that. Little horn set up top.
Ball screen Bolden.
For a good high-low action.
And Bolden's going to finish over May and is fouled. So Duke up by 2. Bolden to the line when we come back. Well, my friend, we've had a lot of offense in the early going, a lot of great individual offensive plays, none better than Trevon Duval.
Well, Duval splits the ball screen defenders and gets all the way to the lane with nobody stepping in. That's really been a problem for North Carolina, is protecting the rim. Garrison Brooks needed to go up there and really challenge that. And Marvin Bagley, Duke is owning the paint right now, and they're owning the glass. The left-handed Bagley just launching that up over Luke May. And right now, Duke is getting offensive rebounds, and North Carolina is owning the three-point line thanks to Kenny Williams.
Which is exactly the opposite of the way that it's been historically. Generally, it's Carolina with great big guys. Recently, you look at Meeks and Hicks and Johnson, and it's Duke that plays 4 around 1 and shoots the 3. The two teams have almost traded places this year because Carolina's not as big and they shoot the 3 better, and Duke with Bagley and Carter, they pound the ball inside.
Dogs and cats living together. What are we going to do?
Pinson driving on Bolden. Floater no. Bagley the rebound.
Well, Pinson's got to go up stronger there. He's capable of going right through Marquise Bolden and finishing that play, or at least getting fouled.
Bolden with the left hand, and he's had an early impact on this game off the bench.
Well, high-low. Duke's gone high-low a couple times in a row. First up a horn set there in transition, and a terrific pass. The second in a row by Marvin Bagley III.
Again, Bolden missed 7 games with a knee injury. This is his 3rd game back. Played well at St. John's. Mike Krzyzewski looking to make him a bigger part of the rotation.
Marquise Bolden has been injured a fair part of this year. Came back a couple games ago. That's just a really smart play in transition to duck into the middle of the lane right in front of Luke May. May just not alert to the possibility. And you give a big guy that's got a quality player 2 feet in the paint, it's going to be over.
Bagley's got 3 assists already in this game. Duke with a 4-point lead as we near the midway point of the first half here in Chapel Hill.
Here's an isolation. Let him go one-on-one against May.
May forces him to his right, but a foul will send Bagley to the free throw line. Saturday on ESPN, it's another great game, and it's another Sonic blockbuster. Number 3 Purdue, number 4 Michigan State from the Breslin Center, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on ESPN and the ESPN app. How about the week for Purdue? They play Ohio State. How about the Buckeyes, by the way? Ohio State knocks them off. Now Purdue's got to go to East Lansing.
Michigan State could very well wind up being the best team in the country. They've got terrific personnel. They're very good defensively. one of the top 3 rebounding teams in the country with these two teams, Duke and North Carolina. And their depth is really outstanding. Miles Bridges looked really good the other night with his ability to put the ball on the deck.
North Carolina's depth will be tested. That is the second foul on Luke May. A Wooden Award candidate right now. He goes to the bench with 10-11 remaining in the half. So they'll count on Sterling Manley, the freshman, in there in the middle. And right now, looking at this lineup, Jay, Cameron Johnson is in effect playing the 4 spot for North Carolina.
Well, all that really matters is who you guard. On offense, North Carolina can spread the floor a little bit.
Yep.
And I think they need to start putting the ball on the deck and driving. Put Duke in a position to foul.
So Carter on Johnson, and we would imagine Johnson on Carter with the other end. Interesting matchup.
And Duke right now basically switching everything, switching every exchange.
Brandon Robinson on the floor for Carolina, sophomore guard. Kenny Williams with 4 threes already. He'll take the assist on this one by Johnson.
Just a throwback off the switch, and Johnson had Wendell Carter on him.
Bolden slams it home at the other end, and he's got 6 off the bench.
Boy, how big are these minutes for Marquise Bolden to come into this game and play at this level? Got him on a switch now. He's guarding Joel Berry.
Berry picks up his dribble, looking inside for Manley. Can't get it to him. Manley's got Gary Trent on him.
Berry needs to take him off the dribble. Just go.
He just goes. And the recovery by Bolden for the block.
Boy, a great block, but I still like the drive.
Duval, nice look to Trent. Lots of time.
Nobody in America is shooting the ball right now better than Gary Trent Jr. 22 points per game his last 2. 11 of 17. He's shooting over 50% from 3 in ACC games.
Berry pulls up, a little bit short. And the loose ball, still loose, saved. Great hustle. Johnson saved it. And Manley is fouled.
Boy, what a great play by Cam Johnson to get down on the floor and save that ball. Gary Trent Jr. is shooting the ball as well as anybody in the country, and you give him that long and forget it. He's seeing a gigantic. The basket looks like a trash can to him right now.
Maria Taylor's got more.
Yeah, I spoke to Gary Trent Jr. this week, and he said the difference that he's made over the last couple of months is making his release faster. He felt like he was holding the ball a little too long. He was getting blocked. He was out of rhythm. And Coach K told him, you have to have a quicker release. And that's something he's focused on when he goes into the gym and tries to get 500 makes now.
All right, Maria, thank you. Big ovation for Joel Berry as he goes to the bench. Robinson out as well. 6-point lead for Duke. Duke 19-4 on the season, coming off that loss to St. John's over the weekend up in New York, and then the Johnnies backed it up with a win at Villanova last night. How about a week for Chris Mullen? Carolina 17-7, 6-5 in the league, and Jay, they had lost 3 in a row before turning it around with a rout of Pitt on the weekend.
Well, North Carolina needs this game as much as any game on its schedule. I mean, it's just one game, but they have to play at NC State on Saturday. They've got Notre Dame on Monday, and a brutal schedule down the stretch, finishing off in Cameron Indoor Stadium on March 3rd.
3 games in 5 days for the Heels. The first time they've had that scheduled since 1980. It happened in 1991, but one of the games was a makeup game because of the onset of the Gulf War. Gary Trent Jr. clapping his hands after knocking down that pull-up jumper.
That was a big-time shot by Gary Trent Jr. He had Kenny Williams draped all over him. Now Seventh Woods handling the ball for North Carolina, his first game back.
From a stress fracture in his foot, hasn't played since early in the year. Foul on Johnson.
Well, this is an important stretch for North Carolina. There's a TV timeout coming up. But down 7, they do not want to let Duke get too far in front of them.
Meanwhile, the Blue Devils have hit their last 10 shots.
Well, North Carolina's got to continue to bring the pressure. Right now, Duke's able to see whatever they want to see. They're not taking vision away.
Bagley driving on Pinson. And Pinson does a good job against a much larger guy. Johnson off the leg of Woods. And we'll wind up with Manley at the free throw line for the Heels when we come back. On the other side of the break, it'll be Jay Bilas and Joel Berry going 94 feet.
That's better than most outstanding player, wouldn't you say?
Easy.
94 feet with North Carolina's Joel Berry. What's your favorite thing to eat?
Twix.
Twix. What do you do outside of basketball for fun?
I like to read.
What's the last thing you read?
I read Outliers.
By Malcolm Gladwell?
Yes, sir.
What do you like going to the movies or Netflix, or what do you do?
I prefer the movies, but you know, sometimes it's hard to get out in the public, so I just have to rely on Netflix.
Last really good movie you saw?
The King Kong movie.
What's the best game you feel you've ever played? Not most points, but best game.
Kentucky in the Elite Eight last year.
All right, you're a senior. What's the one thing Coach Williams says to you that you won't miss?
If you take a shot, have enough balls to make it.
94 feet.
There's some honesty from Joel Berry. You don't make up that answer. And you know what? He's made a lot of shots.
He does.
Yeah. Berry on the bench right now. Luke May on the bench with 2 fouls. The 2 stars for Carolina, Jay, have only scored 4 points tonight, yet they're only down by 5.
Well, Kenny Williams has been a star in this one and can continue to be. Too easy, the high-low. You got to get up there and put pressure on the ball or you're going to get picked apart.
You would expect Duke to do more of that because they have a size advantage on somebody. One of the big guys is going to have a big advantage on his defender in terms of height. Allen the lob, Carter the finish.
Sterling Manley tried to take the ball to the bucket, but just wasn't strong enough to go through that contact. Maybe got fouled, but it didn't get called. And then when he was down, it was an advantage break the other way, and Duke took advantage of it.
And Roy Williams knows he's got to make some changes. Does not like the last minute or so, and he's got his 2 stars ready to check into the game.
One thing these 2 Duke big guys can really do is run. And when they have the opportunity to get down the floor, this was an excellent job running the floor by Wendell Carter Jr. And I'm not sure there's ever a time when Wendell Carter doesn't go after the ball with 2 hands, whether it's a rebound, he's going after a pass. It seems like he's almost a natural in pursuing it with 2. And that, look at that, 24-4. Wow. Talk about domination in the paint.
May Berry back in for Carolina. May's open. Knew he missed it, followed it, but down with a rebound for Duke. Alex O'Connell, who just checked into the game for the first time. Freshman off the bench, didn't play at all in the game against St. John's on the weekend. His minutes have been down the last few games.
Here's that horn set again, looking high-low.
Carter's going to take the 3 because nothing was open down low. And how about that? Carter can knock down a 3. Bagley can knock down a 3 as well.
Yeah, how do you stop that?
Of course, May can knock down a 3 about as well as anybody for Carolina.
Carolina can get some matchups where they can take advantage of it. There was one of them on the drive.
Duval doesn't like the foul call, but Berry's got a chance for a 3-point play.
And I think North Carolina needs to do a lot more of this. I think they can take Duke off the dribble and put them in help and recover situations and then kick it out for some open 3s. But Joel Berry is a courageous driver, and even though he's only 6 feet tall, always a good finisher around the rim and a creative finisher.
And an excellent free throw shooter. 9-point lead, Blue Devils.
Here's that horn set again. One player's going to dive.
Pass deflected, but Grayson Allen has it for Duke. O'Connell, nice kick. Duval rejected by Pinson, and Pinson hustles to save it. Johnson at the other end. But give Theo Pinson all the credit in the world for that bucket. They're on their feet here in Carolina. It's down to 7.
I think Duke's got to go after Luke May here. See if they can hang foul number 3 on him.
Bagley over Pinson. Carolina ball.
Here comes the high ball screen.
Andrew Platek on the floor for Carolina. Freshman from Guilderland, New York, number 3 in white. Pinson into traffic, and it's an offensive foul.
Really nice job by Grayson Allen to get over on the baseline. But Theo Pinson had been guarding Marvin Bagley and gets out to challenge that shot. Not only blocks it, but saves it and then starts this break. And Cam Johnson, who's really done a nice job throughout the course of this game at both ends of the floor, played with greater energy than I've seen him. He had a great game at Clemson. He had 32 points in that one. But he's more aggressive putting the ball on the floor in this one.
That offensive foul, the first turnover of the night committed by the Tar Heels.
Grayson Allen running the point right now for Duke.
The three rattles out. Berry gets a look. And Bagley down with another rebound. Trent behind the back, fortunate to retain possession.
That was a nice job by Playtech to cut off that drive.
Another ball screen for Allen. O'Connell had it altered, followed it up, and lays it in.
Well, how about Alex O'Connell sticking with that?
He was a guy at times this year. He's had some big games off the bench for the Blue Devils, who don't get or haven't gotten recently very much from their bench. They get a bucket from O'Connell there, and Bolden's been terrific off the bench tonight.
Carolina trying to raise Duke up.
Pinson, not a good outside shooter, off to Johnson, who is. Another assist for Pinson and another three for Johnson.
Aggressively coming off to look for that shot when he had Marquise Bolden on him, knew he could get it off.
Carolina 7 threes in the first half. O'Connell, and he knocks down a corner three.
Boy, I thought the ball should have gone inside to Bagley, but O'Connell coming into the game firing.
5 quick points for O'Connell. Inside to May. Antoine Jamison would be proud of what Luke May just did.
Well, they caught Duke again on a screen and switch situation. Grayson Allen switching off onto May. Excellent recognition by North Carolina. Carolina from the three-point line. It's been Duke inside.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM.
Still to come tonight, we take you to the Pac-12, where Bill Walton's getting loose, getting ready, staying strong.
Is that attached to anything?
It'll be UCLA and Arizona after us tonight here on ESPN. But before we go to the Conference of Champions, you're watching the ACC on ESPN. Coming up in the Alfa Romeo halftime report, analysis of the first half of this one, and an absolutely wild NBA trade deadline, especially if you happen to be a fan of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Maria Taylor is with Jay Will and the coach.
All right, Coach, we knew that points in the paint were going to be big. How do you think Carolina's defending it right now?
Carolina's got to figure out how to deal with that high-low action of Duke so they can get stops, so they can get out in transition. And I'd like to see a little more patient in the half court, run a couple multiple ball screens.
Seth has like 8 plays he wants to run.
He's already drawn them up.
I think it's interesting for North Carolina to continue to spread the game out and drive and attack the rim.
All right, plenty more for them at halftime, guys.
Absolutely. Lots to analyze from a very entertaining first half here in Chapel Hill. Bolden. And it goes Marquise Bolden with 8 points tonight for Duke.
Boy, how about the minutes that Duke has received from Marquise Bolden and Alex O'Connell in this game? For a team that has not received much from its bench to have this kind of contribution in a game played at this intensity level, that's pretty impressive.
Joel Berry just 2 for 7 on the night, 0 for 3 from 3. Look at the touch off the glass.
We've talked about North Carolina attacking off the dribble more. And I think North Carolina in the second half has got to put the ball on the deck and drive by this Duke team.
Berry guarding Allen, a couple of seniors, couple of kids from Florida. They've known each other a long time. Allen finds Bagley on the inside.
He's got Garrison Brooks on him, who's an excellent position defender. But I think they have to go after these Carolina big guys. Throw the ball inside and let those guys operate. They have shown they will throw it back out.
Couple of switches now. May's got O'Connell on him. Bagley is guarding Berry at the moment after a switch. May, nice look. Berry driving, jump stop, no. May, yes.
But it's all set up by the drive. And Carolina probed the defense, made it move, and then drove it when Joel Berry caught it on the left wing. But North Carolina needs a stop. There's a big minute 17 before halftime.
O'Connell, nice look to the corner for Trent. Rebound down to May.
Trent's first bad shot of the game.
And a block. Boy, May was a little bit out of control, but he will get the call on Allen. Second foul on Grayson Allen.
And right now, Roy Williams shaking his head going, son, that could have been number 3.
Absolutely.
Be careful.
Absolutely.
And he was trying, it seemed like he might have been trying to get him out of there when that happened. As Theo Pinson's still at the scorer's table, and he'd been there for a while. Boy, that could have been number 3. Very fortunate.
And you can see Allen, he's got some discomfort in his right wrist right now.
He's had trouble with that right wrist ever since they played against Michigan State. He had 37 in that one. Hasn't really been the same shooting the ball since he hurt his wrist the first time.
And so often when a player tries to brace his fall with his hand, you see some sort of a wrist problem. May 1 of 2, tapped back out. How many times have you seen Carolina do that off a missed free throw over the years?
Well, that could have been such a big shot. The North Carolina routinely taps it back on a miss to try to get it. You have to really be alert to that. You can turn that into offense.
Carter inside over May. May got a piece of it. Johnson's got it. Carolina ball.
Numbers.
Berry. May with a follow, but I think we had a whistle before.
You did.
Yeah, impossible to hear it here. No basket. A Duke foul on the drive on Carter.
Boy, Roy Williams had to be holding his breath after that missed free throw that Luke May had to go against Wendell Carter inside. And after Carolina was able to secure the ball after the miss, you know, there's the brilliance, I think, of Joel Berry. You know, he's fearless, went right into the chest of Wendell Carter to pick up that foul, and he's such a great free throw shooter.
And Roy Williams feels, okay, you know what? They've rolled the dice enough. You're going to get May out of there with 28 seconds left.
He was trying to get him out 2 minutes ago.
Yep.
I mean, he was holding his breath that whole time. And then when he missed the free throw, the second free throw, he couldn't get him out there.
Hey, let's go back to game day before. Zion Williamson coming to Duke next year. Great interview, Reese, and you guys did with him. Can't wait to watch him as a player. But his score for this game was 67-60.
Well, he was talking about halftime.
Zion, they're going up and down here in Chapel Hill. Shot clock turned off.
Going back to that horn set where they've gone high-low.
Lob tipped away. Great play by Brooks. They got time. Williams would have torn the roof off this building had that gone down. Duke led by as many as 12. Carolina's got it down to 4 at halftime despite the Blue Devils dominating inside. Carolina staying close on the strength of some three-point shooting. What a great first half. What a great rivalry between Duke and North Carolina. 49-45, Blue Devils at halftime. After these messages, the Alfa Romeo halftime report. Reese Davis, Jay Williams, and Seth Greenberg.
It always delivers, doesn't it?
Welcome back to ESPN's Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's. Marvin Bagley III had a big half for the Blue Devils. 9 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists on his way to another big night. Carolina knocked down 7 threes in the first half. Cameron Johnson had 3, Kenny Williams had 4, and we got ourselves a heck of a game here in Chapel Hill. This is a Sonic blockbuster on ESPN. High scoring, not surprising, but high scoring, 49-45 Duke heading to the second half. What was the key in the first half?
Well, the key was Duke getting the ball inside and scoring when they got there. Duke's shot 57% in that first half and got really good contributions off the bench. Alex O'Connell came in. Marquise Bolden did a nice job. North Carolina's got to take away vision, though, to keep it from getting in there. And the ball went inside to Marvin Bagley, went inside to Wendell Carter Jr., Marquise Bolden. They ran a little horn set, got it inside. They did a nice job of getting the ball to the rim off of a middle ball screen, and then in transition getting the ball to the rim. And Duke did an excellent job on the glass. This was off a Joel Berry, one of the very few bad shots that North Carolina took in the first half. And Carolina on their end did a pretty darn good job of finding opportunistic threes, putting the ball on the deck and attacking the basket and getting to the free throw line. I think North Carolina has to do more of that, of taking Duke off the dribble in the second half.
Moments ago, Maria Taylor spoke with North Carolina head coach Roy Williams.
All right, Coach, 30 points in the paint for Duke. How do you disrupt their interior presence right now?
Well, we got to put better pressure on the ball to take the pass, but you can't just go and duck in behind somebody. We got to try to front the guy in the low post and put pressure on him and be a little difficult for them to handle. They shoot 58%.
What do you need to see from your backcourt in the second half?
Make every shot and stop every shot they make.
Thanks, Coach.
If only it were that easy. Start of the second half here of our Sonic Blockbuster from the Dean Smith Center in Chapel Hill. Duke 49, Carolina 45. May will bank it home. One quick statistical note. John Madry providing us with his Jay with the pace in the first half. You know what's remarkable? Only 4 turnovers in the game. Duke 3, Carolina 1. And Carolina's 1 was on a charge.
Luke May got a switch with Grayson Allen on him, did a great job of driving it. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that, of North Carolina trying to lift this Duke defense and then drive it.
Duval is fouled on the drive. Last 100 meetings, 50 wins for Duke, 50 wins for Carolina. Entering the game tonight, Duke had a 2-point advantage in the last 100. Counting tonight, it's now a 4-point advantage. You can't make this stuff up.
Yeah, somebody will blame that 2-point advantage on me. Something I missed.
At least.
Well, I see what side you're on.
I'm getting texts from some of your former teammates as we speak. All time, as you can see, 135-110 in favor of North Carolina. They'll meet again the last Saturday of the regular season in Durham.
At least one more time. Well, Joel Berry's the guy I think that has to get going in this second half. They got Luke May a bucket early. And if Joel Berry can knock something down, he can really put a bunch of points on the board in a hurry. Good
Johnson
cut.
inside, and it was May cutting out of bounds, still Carolina ball. Boy, what a player this guy has turned into. A well-documented story from a walk-on to a sub to a guy who hit a huge shot over Kentucky to send him to the Final Four last year, and now one of the 20 late-season Wooden Award candidates in the country.
Shoots over 40% from three, actually 49 coming into this game, and averages over 10 rebounds a game. You know the last guy to shoot over 40% and 10.5 rebounds a game? Kevin Durant.
Wow. Pretty good company. How about Pinson on the offensive glass? They may not have the bigs they used to have or they traditionally have, but Pinson as a wing guy is good an offensive rebounder, as you'll see.
Well, tough to block out. That's a tough shot and not a good one.
Carolina with a chance to tie or take the lead.
Ball needed to go inside on that possession of Wendell Carter Jr.
Pinson off to May, and it's tied.
Well, you can see Roy Williams made the adjustment. Put the ball on the deck and drive. Put Duke into help and recover situations. Make them guard.
Bagley knocked away by Pinson. He's making plays everywhere. He'll take a 3. Offensive rebound. Johnson, no. Johnson again. And Coach K has seen enough.
North Carolina starts the second half with an 8-2 run because the Tar Heels just quicker to the ball. It all started with Theo Pinson on the offensive glass, Then the drive, help comes over, no rotation down, an easy left-handed layup for Luke May. And then quicker to the ball on the offensive glass. It might have been below the rim, but Cam Johnson with the putback. Duke dominated the paint in the first half. North Carolina putting the ball on the floor and driving Duke in the second.
Duval with a drive, won't stay down. Berry pushing it for Carolina.
Smart challenge by May. Two hands, didn't foul.
Williams, 4 threes tonight. Make it 5. Duke needs a bucket. They've scored only 2 points here in the second half. Out of bounds, and it is Carolina ball off Duval.
Boy, give a lot of credit there to Theo Pinson for the way he guarded Marvin Bagley III. And North Carolina, really good job. The little pin-in screen by Theo Pinson, but Marvin Bagley III just not alert to make that pickup. Duke, with all the switches, loses one of the best shooters on the floor in this game, Kenny Williams, who is officially out of his shooting slump.
Absolutely. They've got 8 threes tonight. He's got 5 of them. Johnson has the other 3.
Got a switch now.
Berry driving Carter. Berry for 3. Yes! It's a 12-0 run, Carolina. Joel Berry's playing defense with a smile on his face. Feeling this run. Great tip by Williams to get it to Berry. Williams the drive and the lay-in.
Right now, North Carolina's dominating this game on the defensive end.
Boy, Duke having to work hard to get a look. Pinson fronting Bagley. Trent, a tough shot. That'll go down. They're going to run off a make. May, no. Bagley down with it. Here come the Blue Devils.
Boy, what a challenge by Wendell Carter Jr. That saved a sure bucket for North Carolina. That was a big play. Going back to that horn set with the dive.
Carter trying to back down May. Left hand short.
He's fading away instead of taking that turnaround jumper.
Williams again. And it'll be Carolina ball when we come back.
Boy, North Carolina has come out with an extraordinary burst of energy, but this time on the defensive end, and that's even helped the Carolina offense. The older Tar Heels taking it to the younger Blue Devils in Chapel Hill.
Carolina came out in the second half like they were shot out of a cannon. They are playing hard. They're on a 14-2 run right now.
Well, North Carolina beating Duke off the dribble. They have been very focused in their effort on the defensive end and getting to the glass. They have held Duke to 1 of 5 in the second half, forced 3 turnovers. But they've done they've now taken the lead rebounding in this game after being out-rebounded in the first half. And the performance of Kenny Williams in this game, 17 points, 5 of 9 from 3, has been outstanding.
Maria Taylor has more.
Senior Grayson Allen tried to tell his young teammates that they were going to go against the Tar Heel run at some point. The question was, would everyone turn inward, stop communicating, and not generate their own energy? I've seen him try to take the huddle and take command of his team before coming back out to play.
And it's a role in which he's desperately needed, a la Quinn Cook, a la Emile Jefferson from some of the great Duke teams of the last few years.
Boy, North Carolina attacked that 2-3 zone expertly and got a great shot, but it was just erased by Marvin Bagley III. There are very few players, we saw Antoine Jameson in the crowd earlier, very few players that get off the floor as quickly as Marvin Bagley III.
Bolden in off the bench. He was terrific in the first half for Duke. with 8 points, 4 for 4 from the field. And he's getting some early run here in the second half in the spot of Carter.
Well, Grayson Allen having to run the point right now for Duke. A little better pressure on the ball, so he couldn't see in right away. But that high-low is so hard to stop. If you can't take away vision of that passer, you're going to be picked apart.
And would you expect Duke to keep going to that until Carolina finds a way to stop it?
I would. Duke's gone high-low off of a horn set, but this time Marvin Bagley down low, and just not enough size with Theo Pinson, even though he's around in front, because Luke May couldn't take the vision away from Marquise Bolden to make that pass down low.
May, mid-range jumper is good. He's got 13.
May doesn't have tremendous explosion around the rim, but he's got a great touch 6 feet from the rim, which is really extraordinary. There's more of that horn set, now the high-low look.
They'll play on after the contact, and Bagley knocks it down.
Well, a smart try by Theo Pinson, but Jamie Luckey wasn't biting on that. He has done a great job with a size disadvantage just to keep the ball out of there.
Pretty good ball movement against the zone here for Carolina.
Carolina does a good job screening the zone as well.
May trying to do that now on Allen. Barry.
Tough shot.
And we got a push on Gary Trent. That'll be number 3 on Trent. Hey, Saturday on ESPN, it's another Sonic blockbuster, a big-time game. Purdue and Michigan State from the Breslin Center in East Lansing. Number 3 and number 4, of course, Purdue lost earlier in the week to Ohio State. Another crazy week. Purdue has lost. Villanova lost to St. John's. We'll see the number 2 team in the nation, Virginia. They're running away. The Cavaliers running away with the ACC race right now. And we'll have them at home against the Hokies at 6:15 Eastern on Saturday. Virginia wins, and they very likely will be the number 1 team in the nation come Monday.
Haven't been the number 1 team since Ralph Sampson was playing in Charlottesville. And Virginia, the best defensive team I've seen in a long time. They play 5-as-1 on the defensive end, and they play continuously without stopping until they get the ball back.
You can see Clemson now 9-3. They beat Pitt earlier tonight. Tigers are having a terrific year. Joe Lunardi's got Clemson as a 3 seed right now. He's got Duke as a 4, and he's got Duke as a 2, and Carolina as a 4.
Well, the crowd not happy after that offensive rebound. Thought Bagley got away with the walk when he made that initial move, but Bagley is so quick to the ball and so quick off the floor. You can say block him out, but that is so hard to do, and Theo Pinson's done a great job just trying to stay with him.
Number 3 on Pinson, he goes to the bench. Garrison Brooks, the freshman, back in as Carolina gets bigger, and now the matchup's a little more traditional, if you will, in terms of size. O'Connell 5 points off the bench in the first half. Blocked there by Brandon Robinson. Numbers for Carolina. Barry will finish.
How good is Joel Barry in transition? He's just a big-time college player.
Trent turns the corner, behind the back, step back 3. Carolina ball.
Boy, North Carolina, great rebounding team, just a different one. All 5 guys go to the glass.
Barry again getting to the glass. Duke led by 12 midway through the first half. Carolina's now up by 10.
Well, transition defense has been a real problem for Duke. After they have coughed the ball up, Carolina taking it the other way and getting easy basket after easy basket.
10-point lead, North Carolina over Duke. Still to come, DeAndre Ayton and Arizona taking on UCLA.
I love my bike. I love the Conference of Champions.
A lot of emotion here in Chapel Hill tonight in this big game, this Sonic blockbuster between Duke and North Carolina. And it's the Tar Heels having a heck of a second half right now. They've outscored Duke 22-8 since halftime. And they've got a 10-point lead. Carter's stronger move than we've seen on a number of occasions tonight, and that makes it an 8-point game.
That was just a sprint from the top down to the low block. There's no way he should have gotten that ball, but that's as aggressive as Wendell Carter Jr. has been all game long.
And Jay, Duke's going huge right now. Bagley, Carter, and Bolden all in the game at the same time.
Well, 2-3 zone. But they're going to have to guard Carolina at the other end. Carolina's going to spread them out.
Johnson misses the three. So now who gets who with all this size? May is on Carter. Brooks is on Bolden. And that means Johnson is on Bagley.
And that means a lot of congestion in the middle of that lane. You can pack it in except on Trent and except on Allen.
Bolden begging for the ball, and the pass too high.
You have to look at the weak side defense, just not who you're passing to.
The follow tip is good for May. 15 for Luke May.
See, this gigantic lineup really hurts Duke in transition defense. They can't get back and pick up as easily. This is a really important stretch in this game. Carolina could move this lead out even more.
Blue Devils 19-4 on the season, ranked 9th.
Wow.
What a tough shot from deep in the corner by Gary Trent.
Yeah, Maria Taylor nailed it. He has really improved that release. That shot is getting off quickly and accurately. You still have to drive to get into the gaps of this zone. 2 screens up top.
Johnson thought about it.
Good fake.
And a nice look. Wide open is Williams. And Carter with a terrific rebound between a couple of Tar Heels.
Boy, that was all off a little shot fake and then getting into the gap of the zone.
Carter steps into a 3. Already got 1 tonight, but not this time.
Boy, that was a settle. When you've got that much size, you want to go inside.
Williams wide open again. His 6th 3 of the night.
And again, transition defense. This bigger lineup is not able to get out to shooters and identify them. So when Wendell Carter Jr. catches the ball in the corner, not a threat to shoot that. So North Carolina packing it in.
And Duke unable to get the ball into the post right now. Carter will try a 3 and make his 2nd one of the game.
And had to do it late clock.
He doesn't take many, but he's been a good percentage 3-point shooter on the season. Coming into the game tonight, 13 for 28.
But Grayson Allen left the floor on a little shot fake in his zone. No reason to leave the floor on that. That was just horrible defense on his part and a great play by Joel Berry,
who's having a whale of a second half. Allen the drive and the kick. Trent is open. Carolina ball. And Johnson has the ball. Might have gotten poked in the eye. He's in some discomfort as he heads into the front court. Williams again. And May just out hustling the Blue Devils to get the rebound.
Well, anybody that questioned whether North Carolina plays hard or could play defense at a high level, I think the Tar Heels have answered the question in this game against Duke. They are more than capable. Kenny Williams having a great game. The shot fake, Joel Berry pulling up. It's been all Carolina in the second half.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's Hamburgers, made with fresh, never frozen beef.
Well, back in the day, Sam Cassell said, you know, it's like a wine and cheese crowd here in Chapel Hill. Sammy, those days are long gone. It has been absolutely bananas here for the outset, especially in the second half with Carolina getting on this big run to take a 9-point lead over their arch rivals.
North Carolina needs to continue to spread Duke out and drive them. Got a switch now, Bagley on Berry. Good pass.
Johnson for 3. And Bagley with another rebound. Some great action coming your way Saturday. Oklahoma, Iowa State at 2 Eastern. Big one, Sonic Blockbuster. Purdue, Michigan State at 4. Game day will be in Charlottesville, Virginia Tech at Virginia 6:15, and then Kentucky at Texas A&M at 8:15 as that O'Connell three brings the Blue Devils back within 6.
Boy, that was a huge shot in transition for Alex O'Connell.
Pinson got a hand on it and got fouled. Boy, Theo Pinson has made all of those little plays that are actually very big plays for Carolina today.
Well, that was really important. Trayvon Duval on Pinson. Couldn't get him blocked out. And Pinson had him on his back, wound up getting a foul as a result because of his activity level.
Third on Duval.
I don't think North Carolina can settle for jump shots. I mean, when they drive it and then kick it out, that's one thing.
Pinson stripped by Bagley. Just the second Carolina turnover in the game. And Allen draws the foul on the drive at the other end.
Allen has yet to score in this second half. Had 8 points in the first. And with just under 7 minutes in regulation, has a chance to put his first points on the board in the second half. He went right into the arm of Cam Johnson, was able to get that foul.
And Roy Williams feels the same way that the 21,000 fans feel here. Long way to go. 6:52. Last 100 meetings. Carolina's 150. Duke's 150. They split their regular season meetings a year ago, and then Duke beat Carolina in the ACC tournament semifinals in Brooklyn.
Well, Carolina felt like they had a chance to really move this lead out, but the three at the end of the clock by Wendell Carter Jr., then that three in transition by Alex O'Connell really got Duke back within striking distance. Now it's a question about getting the shot you want.
Manley trying to post on Allen. Barry. Johnson with the offensive rebound, blocked. Boy, and he had shooters out beyond the arc. Had he been able to see them. O'Connell wide open. Duval the kick, and he turns it over.
That's his fourth.
And Allen has to foul Pinson.
Boy, that was an unbelievable opportunity right there for Duke, and Duval threw the ball away with the drive and looking behind him, and guess who was there? Theo Pinson makes another gigantic play.
Pinson has 2 points tonight. He could go scoreless and be one of the most impactful players in the game with his defense, his assist, his rebounding.
There's a slice cut screen for the screener action. And Williams read it. He's got Bagley on him. So they might want to look to Williams, see if he can drive it with Bagley.
Barry gets the switch. Turnaround jumper, no. Tip, no. And Allen down with a rebound for Duke.
Well, Carolina's getting some opportunities, just not knocking them down. Well, that ball needs to go into Carter. He's wide open.
Instead, it's Bagley driving and fouled by Pinson. That is number 4 on Theo Pinson with 5:35 to go.
Well, Pinson just gave up an angle, trying to take away, it looked like trying to take away the left. And then Marvin Bagley goes to his right into the middle, and he picks up the foul.
So a loss for Carolina. Pinson to the bench. The question is for how long. May has returned. Robinson also back in for Carolina. And Brooks as well. Allen driving. Kicking. Duval.
Where the guards for North Carolina have done a very good job with defensive rebounding. They all stay. Nobody leaks out until Carolina gets the ball, and then they run.
Shot clock at 10. Robinson behind the back. Kept the dribble alive. Followed it up. Had a couple of cracks at it. Couldn't convert.
It's all about finishing, and right now Carolina's not finishing at the rim.
Duval fouled on the drive. Tomorrow it's an NBA Friday doubleheader, but how about this? Blake Griffin will take on his old team as the Pistons host the Clippers, and then at 9:30 Eastern time, Jimmy Butler will play his old team, the Timberwolves and the Bulls, both games on ESPN, and of course on the ESPN app. What a wild day in the NBA. I mean, the Cleveland Cavaliers are a different team than they were 24 hours ago.
You know, Dan, a couple of the problems that North Carolina's had all season long has been defending at the rim and scoring around the rim. And that has manifested itself in the last 4 or 5 minutes of this game. North Carolina's had some point-blank opportunities against a very good shot-blocking team in Duke with Marvin Bagley III and Wendell Carter Jr. But Carolina has not been able to finish those shots around the basket. And that's why Duke now is within a single possession with just under 5 minutes to go in regulation.
The Tar Heels have missed their last 8 field goal attempts. Under 5 minutes to go in regulation here in Chapel Hill.
Grayson Allen on Luke May in the low post.
Bolden helping. Allen still on May.
Garrison Brooks needs to look to roll to the basket because Marquise Bolden not paying attention to him.
Barry turns the corner. Johnson launches a 3. Brooks with a great offensive rebound. Barry misses a 3. Brooks swatted away right at the rim by Bagley.
Well, Bagley saves a sure basket, but Garrison Brooks really took advantage of Marquise Bolden paying more attention to the ball than he was to him. And he was wide open on this rebound, and that is a basket-saving block with the left hand by Marvin Bagley III. Talk about a summit meeting at the rim.
It wasn't like Brooks went up there soft. He was going to slam that.
Wow.
Fresh shot clock, 28 on it right now. Johnson almost falling out of bounds, finds Williams.
When was the last time Carolina hit a field goal? Got to drive it here.
May for 3. Brooks the tip. And Carolina's got it again, or do they?
I think they're calling a foul on Duval.
Ron Gruber pointing right down at Duval. And it'll be a foul on Duke. Under 4 minutes to play. How much does this one mean? Kind of this much. They're scrapping and getting after it. Carolina clinging to a lead.
Not going to have any fingernails left after this one. Well, North Carolina has not scored in the last 4 minutes and 45 seconds, in large measure to not being able to finish around the rim. They've had opportunities and had open shots, but the Tar Heels not able to knock those down. But to North Carolina's credit, they've done an excellent job on the glass. 19 offensive rebounds in this game for North Carolina. And give a lot of credit to Cam Johnson. He's got 15 points, 11 rebounds amid the trees that Duke puts into the ballgame.
Well, for so many of these players, this is their first Duke-Carolina matchup. 5 of the Duke players who have played in the game, freshmen including 4 starters, a number of Carolina freshmen as well in off the bench. But this game has been played at a tremendous pace with great intensity. Fouls are low, turnovers are low, and it looks like it's going right down to the final moments. Johnson couldn't get it up over the rim. May had it, but lost it to Bagley. And Duke with a chance to pull closer or tie it. But the 3 by Trent is short.
And that was a wide open look in transition, but now Duke's got to play more defense.
And Barry is fouled.
Smart play by Barry to pick that up on Duval.
That's 5 on Trevon Duval.
And it's also the last foul that Duke had to give. Next one, free throws.
So Duval done and O'Connell back into the game.
Well, even with North Carolina going into this extended drought on offense, the Tar Heels able to keep this lead. And Theo Pinson got quite a bit of rest over there with those 4 fouls. Now he comes back in fresh, a senior that knows how to play with a few fouls.
So he's playing with 4. Trent is playing with 4 for Duke.
A box set to get Luke May down in the low post.
Williams
got away with a walk.
Kicks it out to Johnson. What a way to snap the drought for Carolina.
And Cameron Johnson has been excellent in this basketball game at both ends of the floor.
Allen barely grazes the rim on the three.
Carolina wants to run some clock here. You don't want to take away your aggressiveness, but you can take your time. Trying to spread the floor a little bit. And now here comes the high ball screen.
Bagley on Pinson, the switch to Carter, now Barry. Driving Allen, and Allen called for the foul. He got that right arm in there.
Well, Barry did a great job. He hooked that arm intelligently. That was an NBA move. Allen got that arm in there with the left arm of Barry. He just grabbed it. That was just a really smart play to pick up that foul. And it was a foul, but it was also a good play by Barry to hook that and make sure he got the foul.
And now Carolina's got the ACC's leading free throw shooter at the line. 89% on the season.
I'm not sure there's any player in America that puts in more gym time than Joel Barry does.
.20 for Barry. And he's been enormous here in the second half. Bagley bodying up Johnson, can't finish, and Pinson with another rebound. The senior Pinson, the senior Barry, the junior in May, the grad transfer in Johnson, and another experienced player, a junior in Williams.
And good free throw shooters on the floor with the exception of Luke May.
Barry will launch. Tipped back out again, this time by Johnson. And precious seconds are ticking away for Duke. And look at those offensive rebounding numbers. Duke had 6 in about the first 6 minutes of the game. But Carolina has dominated on the glass since the opening minutes of the game.
It's just been will on the part of North Carolina in the glass. They are not big, but they go after the ball, and they go after it on both ends. And heck, the leading rebounder in this game has been Cam Johnson, and Pinson trying to make a statement and really trying to put the game away, but missing it gives Duke a chance. There's no movement for Duke right now.
Trent is fouled. The basket will not count.
I know North Carolina didn't want to foul there, but at least when you do, you're only giving up 2 free throws instead of an open 3. Right now, if these go down, Duke's got to put full court pressure on, and they have to be aggressive to get a steal without worry about a foul.
1-and-1 for Trent. Still to come tonight, some Pac-12 action. Thomas Welsh and UCLA in hostile territory down in Tucson, taking on number 13 Arizona. Dave Pasch, Bill Walton on the call.
Gary Trent Jr. in the last 5 minutes of games this year is now 23 of 23.
Six-point game. And now Trent, who's got 4 fouls, will go to the bench. Jordan Goldwire comes in to give a foul. Then they can get Trent back in there on offense.
Can't be choosy. If you can get into Luke May's hands and foul him, that's who you want to foul.
May almost turned it over. Williams can't finish the layup. Into the final minutes, 6-point game.
Didn't need that. Just pull it back out. Surprising.
Into Bagley. Off the hands of Delorier, but Bagley's got it. Allen forces up a 3, around and out. Delorier the rebound.
Good pass.
O'Connell, no. Bagley will slam it to make it a 4-point game. 34.5 frenzied seconds to go.
Really surprised that North Carolina took that shot and gave Duke an opportunity to get a bucket on the other end. This is going down to the wire.
SportsCenter at midnight tonight with SVP. Everything you need to know after the crazy NBA trade deadline, specifically the Cavs shakeup. The 49ers' decision on giving Jimmy G that enormous contract, and when one of the worst losses of the season turns into one of the best bad beats of the year. SportsCenter after UCLA, Arizona.
Sometimes North Carolina likes to go long here.
This is the guy they want with the ball. This is the guy they want at the line.
Well, Joel Berry is a 90% free throw shooter. Has been one of the great free throw shooters in ACC history. And as we mentioned before, not just a winner, but a champion. And he does not shrink from this type of situation. But even if he makes them, it's just a 6-point game, a 2-possession game.
And Mike Krzyzewski playing a little offense, defense, getting Carter and Trent back into the game. What a win this would be for North Carolina if they can hang on.
This is where free throw blockouts are gigantic. Even though Joel Berry doesn't miss much, you have to expect a miss.
One of two. 5-point game. 30 seconds to go.
Get it to the rim. Can't take too much time here.
Allen turns it over. They got a foul, but they don't want to foul him.
I don't know why they're waiting. He just missed one. You can't choose.
They got a foul. They don't. And Pinson slams it home.
What a performance by North Carolina in the second half. What a performance by North Carolina in the second half.
The Tar Heels take down the Blue Devils 82-78, holding Duke to 29 points in the second half. And Carolina, which had a 3-game losing streak before their win over Pitt on the weekend, they pick up a huge one tonight. Their 18th win of the season. They go to 7-5 in the conference, and they take round 1 from their arch rivals.
Well, that was last year's champion and the experience of North Carolina taking over, and they took advantage of the matchups. There were matchup advantages on both ends, but North Carolina dominated the matchup advantages in the second half. Even when they went into a drought, dominated the glass and dominated the second half. An outstanding performance by the Tar Heels.
Carolina spent a bunch of the second half with 2 seniors, 2 juniors, and a grad transfer, Cameron Johnson, who's in effect a 4th-year junior, on the floor, and they didn't make many mistakes at all in the second half. They missed a lot of shots in the second half, but they played hard, won the 50-50 plays, and they did enough to beat Duke. The Blue Devils lose their second in a row, and it's going to be on Franklin Street tonight here in Chapel Hill.
And how about the performance by Cameron Johnson in this game? A double-double, his rebounding, 3-point shooting, and Kenny Williams popping out of that slump. He was truly outstanding. Boy, what a fun game.
Really. Absolutely great. 82-78, North Carolina defeats Duke. Still to come tonight, more NCAA action. We'll send you into the Conference of Champions. It'll be Aaron Holiday at UCLA taking on number 13, Arizona. That game is not far away. Tip-off just about 10 minutes or so away from Tucson to wrap up a great night of college basketball. All kinds of fun to do this game here in Chapel Hill tonight. This sets the stage nicely for the rematch on March the 3rd at Cameron Indoor Stadium, just about 10 miles away. Welcome back, Dan Schulman and Jay Billis. And you've talked about Joel Berry in glowing terms for 4 years now. And in the second half, he was as good a player as there was in this game.
And he was a great leader. I mean, Joel Berry is a great player, and he's a champion, and showed that in the second half. His ability to finish around the basket, he drove it. He was excellent defensively, even got in there and rebounded. And when it was time to hit the big shot, especially early in the second half, he was the one that did it. And North Carolina got so many great contributions from different players, whether it was Kenny Williams or Cameron Johnson. Even the big guys, Garrison Brooks did a really nice job, Theo Pinson. But I think the tone in the second half, for the second half dominance of the Tar Heels, was set by Joel Berry II.
He finishes with 21 points and 6 assists on the night. Kenny Williams was another star in this game. As you take a look at Berry, and again, he made so many winning plays, so many clutch plays for Carolina, especially in the second half tonight. But he wasn't a one-man gang by any stretch of the imagination. Kenny Williams made 6 threes in this game.
Well, Kenny Williams, 6 of 12 from the three-point line. He had 20 points in the game, 2 steals, 2 assists. He'd really been struggling from the field, especially three-point range in ACC play, shooting under 30% from 3. But he was seeing a big basket in this one. You mentioned it, Dan, against Pittsburgh. He really started to take off again at 15 points against the Panthers. He didn't have 15 points in the 4 games in between. He'd only averaged 5 points a game in the 4 games before the Pitt game, but came out the 20 he put up in this game were absolutely huge. He had a great performance.
6 made three-pointers. Carolina made 11 of the game, although it took them 33 attempts. They really cooled off in the last 10 minutes or so. Another guy who had a big night, he made 4 threes. Cameron Johnson, 18 points and 13 rebounds. Carolina was getting beaten on the glass early, but they dominated on the glass towards the later stages of the game. A big reason why they are victorious, and they kind of break that 50-50 stalemate over the last 100 games. It's now 51-50 Carolina, and they have a 2-point cumulative advantage in the last 101 matches.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
That is absolutely amazing.
And believe us, we'll tell you that again March the 3rd when we do the game in Durham. It always
delivers.
It always
every single time.
Right?
It's unbelievable.
It really is great. Virginia still obviously on top, undefeated in ACC play, kind of running away with it a little bit right now. 3 games ahead of Clemson. We'll have Virginia Tech at Virginia on Saturday, but this is a big win for Carolina. A win over a highly ranked team moves them up into the standings of the ACC, and now Duke is at 7-4. They drop into a 3rd-place tie, and all of a sudden it's really congested in the middle.
Well, I think one thing for North Carolina too, Virginia's the best team in the league, and by a fair margin. Clemson's played great, but they lost Dante Grantham for the season with that knee injury. But this has to give North Carolina conclusive proof that they can defend at a really high level. If they bring this kind of defensive intensity game in, game out, North Carolina is going to be in the top 4 in the league before this is all said and done.
I got a feeling there's going to be some viral video of Roy Williams dancing in the locker room that will be available to everybody before long, because old Roy doesn't let loose often, but after a win like this, I think he just might. Great night, great atmosphere, great crowd, and North Carolina with a big-time win over Duke, 82-78, and they earned it. They were down by as many as 12 in the first half, and they came back to win by 4 to go to 18-7 on the season. The loss for the Blue Devils drops them to 19-5. The final score from the Smith Center in Chapel Hill, North Carolina: the Tar Heels 82 and the Blue Devils 78. The Tar Heels led by Joel Berry, Kenny Williams, Cameron Johnson, Luke May, all 4 of them had big nights. Don't forget, coming up next, Rivalry Week presented by Wendy's continues on ESPN as UCLA takes on number 13 Arizona. For Jay Billis, Maria Taylor, and our outstanding crew, I'm Dan Schulman saying thanks for watching. Let's send it to Tucson now. Dave Pasch and Bill Walton.
My ears are still ringing.